problem solving time. I've had this motor in 2 cars now, and as long as I've been running it, I've had problems with it stalling. Driving down the road, push in the clutch, RPMs come down, it's fine. If you're driving down the road and you start engine braking down through gears and then push in the clutch, the car will die. So I've tried a couple small things, tune this and check that, and nothing has worked. So I'm going to just go ahead and change the throttle body itself. So got this one is from the original motor from the black car that fell victim to the mouse nest. I've referenced that a few times, and a lot of you know what that is. So, have my throttle body, have my new gasket, thanks to the genius of Brandon. You figure out what that is? So we're gonna get this swapped over and see if it fixes the issue, because you didn't ever notice it on the track, it was never a problem. But driving on the road, it becomes very noticeable and very, very annoying. Every time you come up to a stop sign or stoplight or anything like that, the car wants to die. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So we're going to swap this thing and see if we can figure it out. So, new throttle body is on, car runs. I'm not going to get to take it for a test drive tonight to see if it's working or not, but soon. I got cover installed. It still needs some work. This was just kind of a bit of a cleanup and test fit. It's kind of torn up. It was a junkyard find, but you don't see many of the UZs with that cover on there, so I grabbed it when I could. Did a little bit of cleaning, tried to clean it up a little bit in here. It was getting pretty grungy. Let's see, the next thing, the Lake Erie 2-day, they are requiring, quote, party lights. So, did a little goofing around on Amazon and got cheap Chinese party lights. So these will be going in next. They'll be included in this, how we put them in. Under the car, inside the car. So this should be good. I don't know why this one's got a picture of a remote on it. This one is actually controlled by app on the cell phone. This one is an inline remote. So weird thing is, the one that goes under the car has a cigarette lighter plug, where the one that goes in the car needs to be hardwired. So yeah, cheap Chinese lights, what are you gonna do? I played with them a little bit. They are pretty bright. They're gonna look good. I'm gonna like it. Hopefully everybody else will like it, and we will be able to participate in night drifting with our party lights. New lip has arrived. Hopefully this lines up a little bit better with the side skirts that are on the car now, because this little guy just doesn't look right. So let's get this on there and see how it looks. Alrighty, bumper skin is off, and they really go overkill on the mounting for these things. That was nuts. But I mean, that's been kind of the story of the car. Still learning a lot of this for the first time, since never had an SC that had all the factory clips and everything still in place. So, but we got her off. This is new lip sitting under old lip. You can kind of see the differences, what it'll kind of look like. So I'm going to go ahead and get the old lip pulled off there and start figuring out how we're mounting the new one on. It's going to look pretty good, I think. And if you notice the paint coming off here, that was the second time I had the car out on the road. Hit a gigantic raccoon, and now that I have this off, you can actually see from this side, it actually broke this metal piece that holds the back of the lip on. Like, snapped it. That is, I guess that tells you how big a raccoon it was. This side's still pretty well intact. It kind of bent a little bit right there. Wonder if that's from some sort of past impact. See, it's all busted up here. I'll be able to put this back in place a little bit better now that that's apart. Kind of make that look decent again. Yeah, so this is where we're at. These in the corners here, all 4 of these bolts snap. They're junk. So I figure out how I'm gonna mount that back on. Looks like the new drift car is gonna get its first body panel zip ties with this project. Another milestone. Alright, so this is it, just mocked up. There are a lot of screws and bolts and clips that hold this on. It was ridiculous. 13 just for the lip. I gotta pick up some mounting hardware. I know how I'm gonna mount it, I just don't have the stuff to do it here. But this is roughly what it's gonna look like. I have vice grips on the back of it right now holding it in place. Now, it looks like it's going to fit really well, and should match up. The body line should look good down the side of the car. I think I'm going to be pretty happy with it. So progress got detoured a little bit. I don't have the hardware yet, so I got to get paid still. Next paycheck we'll buy that. But we went to Evergreen this past weekend. Didn't take the car, just went and did some media and hung out and made a little pickup. Got some KBD wider front fenders so we can get the wider wheels on and start working on getting control arms extended. So that's coming very soon, hopefully before Erie. This is almost completely mounted. I still have to figure out here, fix this gap, which it will come together when this pulls out. It will match up. I just got to figure out how to mount that together, get these holes filled so that everything can be painted and look nice. And the bumper on both sides, the bolts here broke, so I got to figure out how I'm gonna mount this. But I mean, all in all, they fit really well. The gap isn't too bad. Here is a little messed up, but it's livable. This gap actually evens out better when you pull that out to where it's supposed to be. So they're not gonna look bad, and they're gonna give us clearance, and they're flexible, so I'm not super worried about if a tire does happen to touch one. I'm not really gonna have to worry about it so much. So super excited there. So big shout out to Travis for tipping me off about these, and Matt for the killer price he gave me on them. I really did get a good deal. So on top of that, the other one's sitting there on top of the car. Top of that, you got a rear lip. That's going to take some pretty big mods to make fit, but it should look good when it's done. So we're making some progress. We got lots of pop rivets. We got to pick these up today, put the lip on. I'm going to flip it over and you can have a look at what it looks like actually upright. Yeah, that's what she looks like all on there mounted. It's nice and solid. I don't think that'll be going anywhere. I can't put it on the car yet because I'm still trying to get the fenders to fit right. Definitely not a body person. Almost there. The one's good, but the passenger side is not quite fitting right. So still got some tweaking to do on that. Back to the fenders, and after multiple attempts, finally figured out the secret to getting these to fit. The lines aren't absolutely perfect, but I mean really, it's a drift car. They're good enough. So we're having a lot of problems with this. This was sticking a good 1/4 inch out here, and the way these doors open, they don't just open in at the front, they come out and around the front. So better angle here. So they come out and kind of overlap the fender. So it was really a pain. So with those sticking out, it would just hit. The door would just slam it into the back of the fender, and it was just a mess. So what I ended up doing was coming in here. You can see this bolt, this guy right here. I shaved this mount on the fender down as far as I dared, with any expectation that it was still going to hold on to anything. There's another one here. You can, I don't know if you can really tell between that one and this one. Yeah, you can see how much thicker that mount is, the urethane there. Then this down here, like it's thin, but I think it'll be all right. And then there's also a lip here. This is the side skirt where it comes back. This, you can see where it kind of wraps around now. It didn't do that before. This was solid all the way back to here, so I shaved that in as well, so the side skirt would sit back in where it's supposed to be. And this is the result. They still touch just a little bit. When it opens, it still touches just a hair right here, but not bad enough where I'm really worried about it. So now, I've already got the front of this side. This is exactly where it needs to be for the headlight to fit right. Now I just have to get this one back in place and get just the side gap of the hood sorted out. So we'll get that pushed back in where it's supposed to be and bolted down, and that fender is done. That's where it's going to be. Yay, we're making progress. Okay, fenders are done. Lights are in. These are going to definitely need to be buffed here at some point. That is definitely on the list of things to do. The high beams have a bunch of overspray on them from when they painted the car, but that's okay. So the only thing really left is to put the front bumper back on. Now we have one small problem, and that's these brackets that go here at the edges. And when I took these out, all 4 bolts broke off. So you can see that there. Get that to stay focused. Alright, so all 4 of these broke off. So instead of putting the bumper on, I'm not going to zip tie this. I'm going to get a hold of Tim, because Tim is awesome and the mad scientist, and we'll get some bolts and we'll knock these out of here, I think, and tack some new bolts in, so we'll be able to mount this the way it should be mounted. So that should work out pretty good. Try to get that done tomorrow, so hopefully this thing will be cruising around again tomorrow. And then I still have a long list of things to do to be ready for Erie. We're going to get the party lights put in. That's going to be another project. I want to get an alignment done on this. It needs it pretty bad. The toe out on this is terrible. So that needs to be done. There's just a bunch of other stuff, but we're getting there. I might... Well, no, I'm not going to end this off yet. Not until the front bumper's back on. But once the front bumper's back on, I'll end it there. I'll do another video about putting the party lights in and final prep for getting out to the 2-day at Erie. But we're getting close. We have been to the Tim, and we have fixed the bracket. All new hardware, new rivet. We have Brad. Brad is helping today. So, mount this up. Get the other tire on the front to match that one. And that should be good. As we take this thing for a cruise today, which is way better than working on it because it's hot AF out here. There we go. She's back together, and then it rains. That's okay though. There's blue sky coming. I'm gonna take it out for a ride. Much excite. so wide in the front. It's just gonna get wider when we do the control arms. Yeah, it's good. I like it. All back together. So, I'm going to end this video here, I think. I'm going to edit all this together and close off with footage of Evergreen. Because I went down, I didn't take the car, I just shot media. But it was still a good time. I got a bunch of video from that, so I will put that on the end of this video. And the next video will be wiring lights and final prep for Erie in a couple weeks. So be excited for that, I guess. We'll see you again next time.